Let me see you lift. You're all lifting? You're pushing from that side of the foot? 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1. Okay, who thinks they can show me this? Come forward. What's your name? Emma. Emma's going to show us how to do this. I'll do it with you. Ready? And lift, settle, place the foot in front, lift, settle, transfer weight, lift, settle, place the foot, lift, settle, place the foot in the back, lift, and settle. Yeah? Now I mentioned other hip actions up here as well. Settle, lift, rotate. And sorry for my bad handwriting. How do you think we do rotate in this? Who thinks we can do rotate in our body actions with a Rumba basic? Anybody want to try and show me? Okay, I'll show you. So, right, we have lift, then we have settle. But here's what's interesting. Well, okay, I'll explain this next. So we have 4 different types of body action. I'm going to talk about 4 different points over the foot. What am I drawing? Your feet. Now, what I'm doing is I'm saying there is a dot on the front of this foot, on the side of the foot, and on the back of the heel. Okay? So 1, 2, and 3. There's also a dot on the center of the foot. This applies to both sides. So again, I have a dot here, here, and here. The reason I draw these dots is because your hips are directly above your feet, right? Your hips are above your feet. What's interesting is you can actually place your hip over different parts of your feet, which helps you become more grounded and actually use your hips. It's not just fashion, but it's also function, yeah? So if I do my Rumba basic and I lift my right hip, which dot is it above? 1, 2, 3, or 4? My right hip. And I'm not going to answer this one. 2? Who says 4? 4 is correct. My right hip is over number 4 on the right foot. Then when I settle my hip, there's a reason why I did 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you think I labeled that in that specific order with a reason? I'll show you. So if we do a Rumba basic, right, we lift. I'm going to settle, but I'm going to settle my right hip to go to number 1. Then I'm going to settle my hip to go to number 2. Then I'm going to settle to get my hip to go to number 3. And then I can lift for my back hip. Did you guys see that? So let's try this all again together. So let's lift from our left foot, okay? Let's get our right hip to settle forward over the toe. Get our hip to settle over the center of the foot. Get our hip to settle over the back of the heel. Place the foot in front and lift from the back hip. Now, what type of hip action is taking place as my hip goes 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes, rotation. So Rumba has settle, lift, and rotate. We don't really use tilt that much in Rumba, unless like guys are in a low lunge and the girls are in some sort of develop or something like that, yeah? So again, I want to see you all try this again. So let's lift from our left leg, lift and settle 1, settle 2, rotate to 3, right? And then lift from the back foot. So I'm going to see you try and do that. Let's just do this over and over and over and over. 2, 3, go 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 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 4, nice, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1. Okay, nice, that's not bad. Not bad. Sweet, okay, so what's also interesting is we did 1, 2, 3 for the first part of the basic. What about the back break? Girls, this is really important for you guys, so pay attention to this next part. After we break forward and then we come back, we step onto our left foot, my left hip still goes 1, 2, 3. And then I get to transfer weight, lift and settle. Do you see that? So how many times do you think we go 1, 2, 3 with our hips over our feet as we dance the rumba? How many times do you think? Any guesses? You can just say a lot. What? Every time you take a break, every time you actually transfer your weight, you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah? Make sense? Now here's a common thing that seems to happen when people dance. They generally skip 1 and they skip 3. So girls, you want to be asked out to prom, and you're walking down the hallway, right? And you know, because you want to be asked out to prom, you let your hips swing from side to side. I'm going 2 and 2 and 2. My hips going over number 2 dot, number 2 dot, number 2 dot, right? And then you've got, you know, a girl that really wants to be asked out to prom, and she's going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? Isn't that interesting? Huh. But here's what's also interesting is because this is not just a part of fashion, it's a part of function. When I actually get my hip to go over 1, then 2, then 3, it gets me to use my standing leg really well. So I'm going to do rumba basic again. 1, 2, 3, place the foot. 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 I'm really grounded through my legs, yeah? And of course this stuff applies in cha-cha as well. Shum, boom, da, cha-cha-cha, you know, all that stuff, yeah? Cool. So, again, as you do this, don't hesitate to let your hip come forward to 1. Don't just go to 2. You want to be asked out to prom immediately. Make sure you go 1, then 2, then 3, yeah? There's also a commonality. Whenever my hip goes to 2, what does that do to my left leg? 2, 2, 2. Close, bends it, okay. 2. It brings it in, yes. Your standing leg hip action actually moves your moving leg, right? You've heard of standing leg, moving leg. Have you heard of that before? So which leg is my standing leg, which leg's my moving leg? Yes, my right's my standing, my left's my moving. So when I start to move my hip, my right hip, it starts to bring in my left leg, right? Or when I'm even moving forward, my hip brings my right leg through. My hip brings my right leg through. Can you see that? Make sense? So let that take place as you dance. Let your hips move where your feet want to go. So let's try our basic again. Let's try to do 1, 2, and 3. Let's try and do our lift and settle and rotate. Yes? So we have 2, 3, lift 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 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 side 4, more, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, more, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1. Good, okay, nice, nice. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Cool, so we have 4 types of body action, right? We've talked about lift, settle, and rotate, tilt we'll leave alone. We've talked about the 4 points over the feet, how we're constantly going 1, 2, and 3. Now, obviously with just these 2 things, already your rumba can change a lot, yeah? I want to talk about something else. Now this is something you mentioned. What did you call it? Corners and oppositions to hips, okay. For me, I like to refer to this the same way, but it's the 4 strings concept. Okay, don't laugh at my drawing. Okay, you can laugh at it if you really want to. So what is this? It's me. I'm just kidding. So this picture, okay, I have 4 strings. I'm going to say I have a string from here to here, and then a string on the opposite side from here to here. Now when I stand upright, what should those strings be? What did you say? Taut. What does the word taut mean? Now it's not stretched, it's not crunched, but it's taut, right? Perfect, that's exactly right. Now what happens while I dance to those strings? Yeah, Well, hopefully those strings move while you dance. But tell me more about the concept you were talking about earlier. Shh.
Hips up, it's kind of pushing your body this way.
Yeah. So for example, when I lift and settle, when I lift through my left hip, I'm crunching this string and I'm stretching this string. You see that? Stretch and crunch, and then I switch them. Woo.